I mean, it's right next to the scoreboard, so I think everybody's pretty aware of what's happening.
Caitlin Clark, a rising star in the basketball world, is known for more than her skills on the court. Her character and gratitude shine just as brightly. Recently, she returned to her old middle school for an unexpected reunion with her former teacher, Mrs. Judith Tonsing. This visit wasn't just a casual drop-in, but a tribute to the lasting impact a teacher's encouragement can have on a student's life. Mrs. Tonsing was wrapping up a long day of teaching when her classroom door opened unexpectedly. In walked Caitlin, dressed in a casual polo shirt and slacks, her signature smile lighting up the room. Overwhelmed with joy, Mrs. Tonsing immediately embraced her former student, a heartwarming moment between a mentor and the accomplished young woman she had inspired over a decade ago. The two reminisced about the days when Caitlin was a bright sixth grader with big dreams. Despite the challenges of balancing schoolwork and sports, Caitlin stood out for her determination and talent. Mrs. Tonsing had been one of her biggest supporters, pushing her to excel academically and athletically. Before Caitlin moved on to middle school, Mrs. Tonsing left her a handwritten note on her report card. Over the years, Caitlin carried the note with her, using it as a source of strength. Whenever life's challenges threatened to overwhelm her, she remembered her teacher's belief in her potential. Mrs. Tonsing's encouragement fueled Caitlin's perseverance, motivating her to push through anxiety, self-doubt, and the pressures of balancing school and sports. Caitlin's remarkable journey began taking shape early. By 7th grade, she received her first recruitment letter from Missouri State University. In high school, she blossomed into one of the country's top basketball players, earning the title of Iowa's Gatorade Player of the Year in 2019. Despite her growing fame, Caitlin never forgot the role Mrs. Tonsing's words played in her success. Caitlin's talent and hard work carried her to the University of Iowa, where she became one of the greatest players in NCAA history. She set numerous records, including being the first Division I basketball player, male or female, to record consecutive triple-doubles with 30-plus points. She led her team to countless victories, including a historic run in the Big Ten. Her achievements extended beyond the court. Caitlin became a symbol of inspiration, representing the power of grit and determination. She even popularized what fans now call the *Caitlin Clark effect *, drawing more attention to women's basketball and redefining its place in sports culture. When Caitlin graduated from college and officially entered professional basketball, she knew exactly how she wanted to celebrate. She returned to her hometown to surprise Mrs. Tonsing with an invitation to her graduation ceremony. Overjoyed, Mrs. Tonsing accepted the invitation, feeling honored to witness Caitlin's triumph. The University of Iowa covered all expenses to ensure Mrs. Tonsing could be part of the momentous occasion. On graduation day, Mrs. Tonsing proudly watched as Caitlin walked across the stage, diploma in hand. The teacher and students' emotional reunion underscored the profound impact of a teacher's belief in their students. But Caitlin's journey hasn't been without challenges. In a recent game, she faced a heckler determined to distract her with taunts, calling her overrated and hurling insults. Despite the man's relentless jeering, Caitlin maintained her composure. She channeled the resilience she'd developed over the years, scoring a crucial free throw to the thunderous cheers of the crowd. Her focus and poise silenced critics and proved once again why she's not just a basketball icon, but a role model for aspiring athletes everywhere. Mrs. Tonsing reflected on her former students' journey with pride, saying, "Teaching is about more than knowledge. It's about uplifting young minds and believing in their potential." Caitlin's story is a testament to how a small act of encouragement can change lives. Caitlin Clark's success, combined with her humility and gratitude, reminds us all to cherish the people who believe in us. Her story inspires students to dream big and teachers to continue being the guiding light for their pupils. Caitlin Clark, the WNBA star with accolades like Rookie of the Year and All-WNBA First Team, was no stranger to pressure, both on and off the court. But what unfolded during a pivotal game and a quiet night at a local pizzeria proved that even the brightest stars face challenges, and how they rise above them defines their legacy. The arena was electric. Caitlin and her team, the Indiana Fever, were locked in a fierce tie during the final minutes of a high-stakes game. The crowd's energy was palpable, but amidst the cheers, a voice cut through like a dagger. A heckler targeting Caitlin with jeers and insults. At first, Caitlin tried to block out the noise. She focused on her team and the game plan, but the heckler's persistence rattled her. After a particularly rough play where she was pushed to the floor, she'd had enough. During a timeout, Caitlin did the unexpected. She approached the heckler. The gym fell silent. The heckler, caught off guard, refused to unmask, and security moved to escort him out. But Caitlin stopped them. Her decision puzzled everyone, but she had a point to prove, not through words but through action. Fueled by determination, Caitlin returned to the court with fire in her eyes. She played like never before, sinking shots with precision, dominating every play, and leading her team to victory. The crowd roared as Caitlin silenced her critic in the best way possible through her extraordinary performance. At the buzzer, the Indiana Fever celebrated their win, and Caitlin emerged as the player of the match. The heckler, now unmasked and humiliated, slinked away in silence. Critics and naysayers are always around. The best response is to focus on what matters and let your actions speak louder than their words. Her encounter sparked national conversations about sportsmanship and the need to protect athletes from harassment. Caitlin became a vocal advocate for player safety, launching the #ProtectAthletes campaign. After weeks of intense games and media frenzy, Caitlin longed for a quiet night. She decided to visit her favorite local pizzeria for a slice of her go-to pepperoni pizza. Hoping for anonymity, she parked discreetly and walked into the cozy restaurant, savoring the comforting aroma of cheese and freshly baked dough. She smiled politely, posed for a quick photo, and hoped that would be the end. Instead, the interaction snowballed. More fans gathered, each requesting autographs, photos, and a moment of her time. Caitlin tried to accommodate everyone, even signing a shirt for a parent who wanted it for their basketball-loving daughter. She knelt to talk to a little girl who shyly asked for her autograph, encouraging her to keep pursuing her basketball dreams. But the crowd kept growing, and Caitlin's patience wore thin. Her stomach growled as she finally heard her order number called. She grabbed her pizza, waved apologetically to the fans, and made her way to the door. Relieved to escape the crowd, Caitlin reached her car, ready to unwind. But just as she opened the door, a familiar face appeared. It was the heckler from the game. Caitlin froze, unsure how to respond. As security approached, the situation escalated. The heckler pulled out a knife. Chaos erupted as Caitlin screamed, and security tackled him to the ground.